Welcome back to Franchise Hockey Manager 10 with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So we find ourselves in ninth place in the East, which isn't too bad. We did finish with 88 points in 82 games, exactly 500. So not too bad for a team that's definitely been rebuilding over this season. But the interesting part is to see if our transactions ended up working out. We'll just take a look at our depth chart here to kind of see what picks that we end up getting. We end up getting the Jets, the Sharks, and the Capitals. So if we end up taking a quick look in terms of the standings for league-wise, we end up finishing actually halfway through the league. So that's pretty decent. Finishing 16th place, not being anywhere close to making the playoffs, though, is pretty good. I would say. I'm going to look at the wild card in a second, but Washington Capitals 18th place, so we did get a little bit better in terms of that. And then Winnipeg is just a couple picks above us. So 94 points is what they end up getting. So those are going to be two okay picks. But the San Jose Sharks with 83 is going to be the interesting part. They're still in a rebuild, yet they traded for our picks. Seems kind of odd. So it could be a lottery pick. We could get a decent pick out of that, but I'm imagining nothing outside the top 10. But we can always trade the players that we end up getting through these guys to get a top player, which I feel as though we're going to do so depending on who's available at that spot. We'll take a look at how well our roster did, and then we'll take a quick look at how well the players that we end up trading away did. So McTavish, he got 77 points, 47 goals in 82 games. Jagger was 65, so he's developing pretty nicely after his third season. He should be able to get around a point per game, I imagine, next season. Guentzel with 52, Korchinski with around 50 in 75 games. Then we have Hemming with around 42 in 81 games. He does around as well as he did in the SHL, except for he played 30 more games with us. I don't mind that. That's pretty good. Pearden only played 74 games, but in those 74 games, he did get 41 points. He is developing pretty nicely. He looks like he should be an all-around player. I do like that. So his stamina is pretty high. I do like that as well. Defensive repositioning is pretty good. So over the years, it should definitely help with that. Petre, who is the guy that we ended up getting on free agency, he looks like he's pretty good. But he doesn't really play one position well, so he's kind of a jack of all trades. He's probably someone that we will see ourselves getting rid of throughout the save. Now let's look at the rookie. Jackson Jacobson moves up to a 5-star, so I do like seeing that as well. Interesting what 82 games will do. It will definitely develop you into a decent player. So we do lose out on his rookie season, but hopefully that means that he's not worth so much when we extend him. He does have 2 more years with us after the season. And then Hudson looking decent, Steen as well, but we still have a bunch of 3-stars. Letang doing pretty good despite being a 2-star there. 28 points on a struggling team is pretty good. And then Figure, who only ended up playing a little bit. He was our first draft pick, so we're definitely going to try and play him as much as possible. He does have 3.5 potential, so we'll see how well he does. And then we'll look at our goalies and see Blomqvist. Blomqvist 897, same percentage. That's not that bad actually, considering our team. 338 goals against kind of tells the story. But 35 wins in 26 games is pretty decent. Daigle, who's only a 2-star, he got 902, 355 goals against, 6 and 9 and 1. So not too bad. I think his mentals are starting to improve. His stamina is definitely there. But he looks better than a 2-star, to be honest. I guess 13 is probably what more is 2, I guess. And then his aggression, I guess he doesn't really need aggression that much. We'll take a look at the players that we end up training, and then we'll go straight into the playoffs. So transaction log, we'll do trades specifically. Okay, so Rantanen, we gave up for a first, 5-star still. He ended up getting 93 points in 92 games. So he did drop off since he got traded, but overall pretty good. And let's see where the Flyers finished. Flyers got 53 wins and 23 losses and 6 overtime losses. So I'm imagining they did pretty well. They finished first in their division. Did they finish first in the league? They finished first in the league. So Rantanen is definitely a gem. If you guys are looking for him, he is well worth the money. That is for sure. Newhook we ended up getting for a first rounder. That was before the season ended up starting. He only finished with 57. So despite being on an Edmonton Oilers stacked team, he only got 57 points, which means that our team was better than theirs last year in terms of at least scoring. So he does fall off a little bit, but he does look very good though. If this is 3.5 star, I mean, he does check all the boxes in terms of offense for sure. Defense is still pretty good though, other than shot blocking. Everything's very nice there. His shooting range is just a little bit off, but he does drop in terms of goals. He did get 32 for us last season, but I guess he wasn't probably expected to do much in terms of scoring there. Goalie rating for Yari, he did pretty decent. He did around 500 though, so you can definitely see him deteriorating. So he ended up doing well in terms of the pick for him. I'm curious to see how well Edmonton did then. They got 100 points, so that should be top in. Yeah, that's top for their division. Second in the whole Western Conference there. Couldn't quite get the 50 wins though. And then Carlson also for a first round pick. He went to San Jose. So we already saw how San Jose did, but I'm going to be curious to see how Carlson ended up doing. He rated 69, but he did get around 67 points, 9 goals, 58 assists. That is a lot. And then Boldy here. Boldy's stats look very nice. 58 points in 82 games. So definitely dropping off than what he did last year. And his contract, I mean, he's still around 7 million a season, so that'll be pretty interesting. And then we'll look at Smith as well. Smith, I mean, he did the exact same that he did last year, except for he did score better. So I'm imagining that means that Panthers are in a total rebuild. So despite him being very good, that kind of sucks. So at least we know that third round pick's going to be pretty decent. And then Eklund went to Kraken. He did better than he did oh no, he did worse actually. We traded him towards the trade deadline. He got 18 points in 29 games, but 58 grade. So decent that we end up getting rid of him, that's for sure. But he does end up the season higher than what he did last season. So that is all that matters, really. He did get probably around, what is that, 949 points. That's not bad. So around 50 points in around 82 games. That's not bad. And then Perfetti, we end up offloading as well. He came in, well, he's 671 with us. He got 23 points in 31 games. That is very good. And we gave him up to Washington, which Washington, as you see, finished a little bit lower than us. So we could have probably done a little bit better even with Perfetti, I guess. And then we ended up getting rid of Moore and Casada to the Jets. And I don't think Casada probably played. No, he went to the AHL. So he didn't really play either. He was one of our picks that we ended up getting early on in the save. And then Moore as well. None of them looking that good, but he does have potential of 3.5. And then we end up getting rid of Forget and Paishi. I mean, Forget's offensive is pretty decent, and he is almost around his potential, but he didn't really play for them anyway, so shocking to see them actually trade for them. And Pesci didn't play for him either. So not really worth a second or third, I would say. Lock Show probably played. He finished, he only got 2 points in 24 games. So I would label that as they definitely lost that trade. He only played 8 minutes, so around half as much as what he did for us. And then Surin is one of the guys that we didn't really want to let go just because of his offense rating is pretty good. And his physical as well. He can play pretty much anything. But face-offs are also very high as well. He only played a couple games for us. 3 points in 5 games. But he didn't end up playing for them either. So both trades seeming as though we definitely won them at least early on. So let's take a look at the playoffs now and see who is destined to win the cup now that we're not even in contention. We'll check the awards first. I highly doubt that we're going to be nominated for anything. Dobson, Bill Armstrong, no. I don't see anything. And who's a Calder actually? Trethuri, when was he? He's only a 3-star. He was drafted 5th overall, so the draft mock draft is still messed up. He was drafted 60 or 5th, and he was projected to go 65th. So not bad. He got drafted in 2025. So 3 seasons ago. Von Richter. He doesn't look that great though. He did play 2 games last season, 52 points. Rate D though, but I'm imagining he can still improve. He is 21. He was projected to be 153. They got him in 4th round in, I think, the second year's draft, or first year's draft actually. And then Rent Sather, he's 19. He looks pretty good. Just off 19, 3.5 potential. They got him 14th. He went half as well as what his projected was. I don't see anything that's really catching my eyes. And then we'll look standings. The playoffs still haven't shown up yet. So we'll do our predictions, see who ends up winning. And I know it's not going to be us, so I hate when it does that. Because obviously we're not playing, so it doesn't really matter, so yeah, we'll take a look. We'll do our predictions now. It's going to be Arizona. Arizona's probably going to win that one. I'm going to imagine Winnipeg does, just because we gave them our picks. Edmonton should win that, and I'm going to guess that Kings take that one. Tampa Bay for sure. I think Toronto's just a slouch. I think Buffalo comes back and wins that. I'm going to go with Columbus, and I would have guessed Philly, so we'll see how that goes. Calgary lead 1-0, Columbus lead 1-0, Toronto leads 1-0. Series is tied. Arizona's still up 2-0. St. Louis up 2-0, and Calgary still. Columbus is up 2-0 as well. As we have it, it is 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Jesus. Could be all sweeps there. But interesting to see St. Louis win 2-0. So that actually bodes well for us in terms of our picks. I do like that. And then you have Toronto looking like they might finish with a sweep as well. Columbus clawing on there before everyone else splitting. None of the teams except for Arizona are going to get the sweep clearly. I would like Philly to get knocked out. That would be great. I can't believe they traded away our pick though. I think this is the guy that was projected first. I mean, he's developing decently. His defensive rating is pretty okay. But still, yeah, he's only around a 1-star. But I do like these. His defensive defenseman aspects are definitely pretty good. Puck handling, checking, shot blocking, stick checking, balance, strength. I mean, they're starting to progress decently. His determination's still there. That's what kind of drew us to him, and the fact that he was projected so high. And then Jackson Jacobson still passing going up. McTavish positioning as well. Hagelin, he's probably never going to play for us. And Letang's probably done after the season, I imagine. We're not going to extend him, so. I do apologize for my voice. I did get a little sick there, so that's kind of why you haven't seen so many videos. But I tried to push in one to do today, just so we could continue with this series. But it has been tough to be able to talk, so hopefully I don't end up coughing or anything like that, or you hear all the phlegm and all that kind of stuff. So new clicks form, despite us not being in the contention or anything. I hate the click function. I hate even when someone, like, it's so often that someone does something off ice. Arizona sweeps, but everyone else is tied. St. Louis sweeps as well. Calgary sweeps. And Edmonton 3-2. 3-2 for them. Toronto ends up advancing, so does New York Islanders. Buffalo 4-2, and going to Game 7 there, Edmonton ends up beating out Kraken. Philly ends up knocking out Hurricanes. And Columbus ends up beating Islanders. That's what I like to see, though. I wouldn't mind our division representing, but at the same time, I don't think Columbus is really rival. So Arizona's leading 1-0, so is Philly. And Buffalo, yeah, I'm convinced that Buffalo's going to win this. Arizona 2-0. Columbus ties it. Tied there as well. And then Edmonton still up 2-0. Columbus leads 2-1, 3-0 for Arizona. Edmonton going for the sweep, and Buffalo leads. Arizona gets it. Geez, Arizona might actually win this. Buffalo 3-1, Edmonton 3-1. Philly 3-2. And And then Edmonton and Buffalo are moving on. We'll take a look at what the standings look like now. So, geez, I think Arizona might actually have it. And Buffalo, I feel as though is going to have it. So we haven't decided between Columbus and Philly, but yeah, it's definitely going to be Philly now. So Philly's moving on. I was kind of hoping they were going to get knocked out first round. The rivalry's still here. Philly leads 1-0. Oh my god. Arizona leads 1-0. So I'm right about that. But I think Arizona's home maybe. Yeah, Arizona's home now for sure. Philly's home, and then it's going to flop to Sabres. I think Sabres take it though. Arizona 2-0. Yeah, 2-1. It's going to go to game 6, I feel. Arizona 2-1. 2-2. And now you're going to see Buffalo and Arizona. Oh, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's still Buffalo, Arizona. Philly, oh damn. So game 7 at the very least. It'd be interesting to see how their players end up doing there. I'll take a look at that after, just before the finals. But, taking a quick look, Philly's players in the postseason at least. Yeah, Rantanen for sure. So 24 points, 19 for Musty. So Rantanen's just leading the way. So yeah, definitely Flyers are going to win this one. I forgot that Rantanen was on there for a second. And then I still think Arizona's going to win. Edmonton 3-2. Jeez. So it looks like I'm going to be wrong. It's probably going to end now from Philly. Gotta get that Hall of Fame vote, clearly. Pecorine for sure. Guess we'll go Patrice. Dale Hunter, why not? And let's go Sean Burke. And Philly's moving on, so Rantanen's going to get another cup. And I still think it's Arizona. Edmonton. Interesting. Very interesting. We've been extended despite sucking this season, but what can you do? Let's take a look at Edmonton, how well they're doing. Draisaitl 27, 24 for McDavid. Any of the players that we gave. Newhook getting 11 and 18. So he's still a playoff person. And doesn't look like Yari's playing at all. Maybe that's why they're winning. They went with a 1.5 star to lead them. That is sad. That's pretty sad. Edmonton up 1-0. It feels like Flyers win this though. Tied 1-1. Yeah, okay. See, this is the other annoying part. Like I said, it should be in the offseason. It shouldn't be in the middle of the playoffs. 2-1 Edmonton, 3-1 Edmonton, so it looks like Edmonton's going to win this one. Rantanen can't get another cup. That's unfortunate. 3-2. Tied 3-3. Jeez, it's going to game 7. Let's see if Rantanen can pull it off. And Edmonton ends up winning anyways. So they could have won a lot earlier. They end up winning in 6 games there. 5 games. 7 and 7. So they just like to play a lot of games, that's for sure. Yeah, we'll end up coming back for the preseason. We'll kind of show you everything in terms of the draft for next episode. And as long as we finish higher than 9th, I feel as though this rebuild is kind of already halfway underway. Jacobson could be the future. Remains to be seen, though. He is 3-star, but I feel as though center is probably more the dedicated spot. But between him and Hemming, I feel as though both of them should be able to play pretty well for us. And Jake O'Brien should make that jump next year. Cherenko's going to definitely play as well. Brawlin might even make the jump up. Maybe not, actually. Let's take a look at who we have to sign, though. We don't have that many people in our system, actually. And we only have 2. So Chamber is the only one that has to get signed this year. Then we have Wilm and Brawlin that have to get signed. So we'll probably leave Brawlin in there, actually. We'll just offer him the contract now. Might as well. It's only going to be a 2-year anyways. But he might be able to back up for us in a couple of years. He is 23 though, so let's take a look at how well everyone's doing though. Potential wise, Fyodorov is still 3.5. Borsman, he was only 3 potential, and now he's 3.5. He looks pretty good. His physical attributes look very good. He is a sniper, so I do look forward to him. He's definitely going to play for us at some point. Kakinen looks decent, but still, Nilsson, if that's, no, that's the other Nilsson. Nilsson only showing 3 stars up here, but I feel as though it's going to change after next season. But we'll come back for that next episode, and hopefully you can wheel and deal throughout this off season and build a better future for tomorrow. But thank you everyone for watching, and until next time.